Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Laratips. So in today's video, we'll be talking about Eloquent model. So what is Eloquent model? Eloquent model is a class representation of the table of our database. So it is just simple representing a table in our database. Okay. So now using Eloquent model, what we can do is we can create a row or multiple rows in our table. We can delete a row or as well as multiple rows. Also we can edit data. Also we can get records from our table. So in today's video we'll be talking about like creating, editing, deleting and getting records from our Eloquent model from the tables. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so I have already opened the project and run the server here. So let me make a font a little bit bigger. Yeah. Okay, now we can create a model by using php artisan command, which is provided us by the Laravel. So what we can do is php artisan make model. We can do is blog. Okay, now what it does is this creates a class. Okay, it creates a class inside app models folder, and if I hit enter, okay, I'll show you. If I hit enter here and if I go to the file structure and show you here app models and blog, so it is from Laravel 8 that the models are being created inside the models folder. So before Laravel 8 all the models will be created outside the models folder, so inside app. Okay, now after Laravel 8 it is created inside models folder. Okay, now if I look here inside, then you can see here it is a PHP class which extends a model which is provided to us by the Laravel. Okay, this is Illuminate database Eloquent model. So every magic that a model has that comes from this comes from this Illuminate database Eloquent model class. Okay, since the blog is extending this model, so now since it is extending this, so we can create, edit, update and get data from the tables. Okay, so this is a model. So how is this model linked with the database table? Yeah, let's see. Okay, so currently what we did was only created a model, but we can also create migration along with the model. Okay, so let me delete this. Yeah, now there is the same, we can use the same command, but we can pass -m flag. Okay, if we pass this flag, then it will create a blog as well as migration file. If you don't know about migration, then you can go ahead and look my previous video tutorial about the migrations and you'll be more clear about that. Okay, so before we were creating migrations by typing in the artisan commands like php artisan make migration and giving the migration file name, but it will be automatically created when we run a command like this. When I hit enter, now you can see here model created successfully and created migration. And if we look here, the model is already created and inside the database migrations and create blocks table. So the convention that I told you, so this comes here from the Laravel. So as you can see here, it is also creating the table like this. So create and table on the left and right, and in the center we have the blocks. Okay, now let's see, there is another convention. Okay, so we have a block class. Okay, we have a block class and the table name. So if I go here and I'll show you here, so this is the blocks. So it is creating a migration table as a plural form. So whatever we write the model name, the table name should be plural, so that Laravel will automatically detect the table. Okay, now let me add some fields here. Okay, table, let me only add title. Okay, so here we have created a table. Okay, now let me run the fresh command, migrate fresh. Yeah, so all the migrations have run successfully. And if I come here in the Laravel basics table and refresh here, so you can see here all these tables are by default in the Laravel, and this is the table that we have just created. Yeah, so it contains title, ID, created and updated at. If I see here data, so there are no data here. Okay, now I will show you how to add a data to this table using model. Okay, so currently if I go to the web.php file, and here we can see there are 4 outs. Let us use home controller for this. Okay, now okay, we have a blog model. Yeah, now we'll create a model is equals to $blog equals to new. Now it has created a new model instance. Now we can access all these id, title, created ad and updated ad using properties. Okay, like this, blog and what is it, title is equals to first blog title. Okay, now we have set title with this string. Yeah, now how to save it, $blog save. Now using this command, the Laravel will save a row in this table whose title is the first blog title. So I haven't added the id and created ad and updated ad because these will be automatically added by the Laravel. Since id is an auto incrementing id, so it will automatically added by the table itself, and created ad and updated ad will be added by the Laravel, and these will be the current timestamps, timestamps. Okay, now okay, I have added this. Okay, now if I go ahead and in the home page, if I refresh the page here, okay, if I refresh the page here, then it will visit this index and everything above will happen as previously in my previous tutorials, and the new thing is here, it will create a new blog instance, it will apply the first blog title to this title, and it will save. Okay, now let's see what happens when I refresh the page now and come here, and here I refresh. Now you can see here it has added this, the first blog title, and this created ad and updated ad are automatically inserted by the Laravel. Okay, now as you can see here, the table name is blogs and the model name is blog. So I am just repeating this to make you clear that always the table name should be plural of that of the model name. Okay, suppose let's say we have one model name, so there is another thing. Let's say there is a model name as blog category. Okay, blog category. So what table will be generated when we run the PHP artisan make model and pass the -m flag? Okay, it will create blog underscore categories table. Okay, so if we have a class and that have multiple words and are separated by these capital letters, which is called as Storley case, so this will be converted into the snake case, and the last word will be the plural. So if we have a blog underscore categories table in our database, then we can use blog category model. Okay, we can directly create blog category model and we can use it to or perform all the model related actions in that table. So let me remove it. Now we have added. Now let us create another, and if I go ahead and again refresh the page here, and again if I go to the database and refresh here, now you can see the second title, blog title, is here. Okay, so this is how we add data to the table. Okay, now if we had other fields, let's say there was a slug field. Okay, now what we can do is blog slug equals to the second blog title. We can pass it like this and it will save title and slug here. Okay, if it had a, if this table had a column name at slug, then this data slug would also be inserted here. Okay, so we have learned how to store a data in a database. Now let us see how to edit that data. Okay, now you can see here, sorry, not in here but here, you can see here there are 2 rows and they have ID. So ID is always unique. Okay, so to edit a data we need to know the ID of the row. Okay, so now let's see. So what we can do is, okay, so I have to just replace this one line. Okay, this, let's see how I do it. $blog equals to blog. So there is a find method in the model. There is a find method in the model, and this expects one parameter. Okay, and this parameter is the ID of the table. So if I give it ID as 1, yeah, and let's say let me return this from here. Okay, so it will return from here. This code will not be executed, it will directly return from here. So if I say, also let me remove this. So when I do a blog find and I refresh here, now you can see here it is returning me ID, title, created ad and updated ad. So it is finding a row from this table, blogs table, and it is finding that has the ID of 1. Okay, so you can see it here. So this is also one way of retrieving one data from the table. Now to update that, let me undo this, and I have to just remove this line. So this is the new instance, and this is the instance that we have retrieved from the database. Okay, now if I remove this, and now look here, I have found a one blog that has ID of 1 and whose title is, the first blog title is 1. Okay, and now let's change the first blog title updated. Okay, now I have reassigned, so I have found a blog, I have assigned a title. Now this title is the different name than that of this, the first blog title here, and it is here the first blog title updated. Now if I hit the same save method, so what happens, let's see here. Okay, first of all I would like to show you something here. So here everything is as previously. So we also need to look at this updated ad field. Okay, so currently what happens is it is changing the title, yeah, but it will also change the updated ad field because the blog data has been updated. So created ad remains the same, so this is the time when we have created the blog, and updated ad is the time whenever any data is being updated, any data has been updated from this row. Okay, so currently it is 16:51:18. Okay, now if I go to the home page and refresh the page, now the data is updated, and I go to the database. Now look at the title and updated ad. Okay, now it is 16:51:18. Let me refresh. Now you can see here 16:57:11. So this is updated and this is not updated. Yeah, so they are different. So, and in the row 2 we can see they both are same, and in the row 1 they are different. And you can see here in the title also the first blog title updated, this title has also been updated. So typically we would get all this data from a form, yeah, and we could retrieve this data from the request. Yeah, so this is how we update a data in a database table. Okay, we similarly like the previous one, we could also, if there were more fields, then we could just add more fields here like this, and let's say slog, and we can add it slog, and the slog we can pass another slog from here, and it would also be updated. So this is how we update a row in a database. Okay, so we have seen how to create a row in a table, how to update that row. Now I will show you how to get data from a table. Okay, we have already seen how to get a single data from a row from a table. So you can see here this is the way how we get single data from a table. Now how to get multiple data from a table. Okay, so let me remove this. So we can do is blog get. Yeah, when we do blog get, then it will get all the data from the table. Okay, blogs table. Now if I return it from here, okay, if I return it from here, and if I show you here, if I refresh the page, now you can see here it is getting us two data, and it is in array. Okay, so I have just returned, so Laravel will return it as a JSON format. Okay, but we can also look at its actual format. So if we do dd dump and die, then we can see what exactly does it return. Okay, now if I do dd and refresh the page, now you can see here it is returning us Illuminate database Eloquent collection. So what is called a collection? Collection is simply a wrapper of an array. Okay, wrapper of a PHP array. So we'll also be learning about more about collections in our next video tutorial. So for now, let us just think that the collection is just an array. It works similarly as as array but adds more functionality to it. Okay, now it contains 2 items, so it is showing us 2, so it contains 2 items. So here you can see here app models and blog, app models and blog. So 2 blog models are being returned by blog get, because in database we have only 2 models, 2 rows. So if we had multiple rows, then all those data would be returned here. Okay, now if I click reopen this here, now you can see a bunch of things. Yeah, we don't need to know all of them, we'll be knowing about them in our future lessons as well. So what we have seen here is that the connection that we have learned in our yesterday's video, yeah, that is the MySQL, and the table name is blogs, yeah, and all the other primary keys ID, so it is showing here like this. And if we go into this attribute section, if I open it here, now we can see here ID, title, created ad and updated ad. And if we see here, so this data matches this first row, yeah. And again, if we go to this second data and if we click on attributes, then this is showing us the second row data, yeah. So in actual case, the Laravel blog : all returns the collection of models, yeah, or you can simply say array of models. So this data is being returned, yeah. Okay, now what we can do is, so this blog model also acts as the query builder, which means that the blog also has so many helper methods. So by using that, we can filter the data from the database or select data from the database. Simply we can run MySQL queries using the blog model. So I'll show you simply this select here, yeah. So it accepts an array and we can pass multiple things, let's say ID and title. So now I have pass blog select ID, and we can chain methods here, okay, like select, and we have chained a method like get, or we can other methods. There are other methods like where, I'll show you this also. So we can chain methods like this, yeah. So for now I am only selecting ID and title. So before we were getting ID, title, created ad and updated ad, all those things. Now we will only be getting ID and title. So if I refresh the page here, now you can see here we are only getting ID and title. So what it is running is the MySQL query select ID title from blogs. So this query is being run under the hood by this statement, yeah. So now we know how to get multiple datas and also select what columns we need and not select which column we do not need. Now what we can do is we can also pass the where statement. So in MySQL query there is a where statement, so we can also pass it like this, yeah. So we can chain a where method and we can give the colon name. So let's say where ID, yeah, and we can pass it like this, where ID is greater than, let's say 1, okay. Select ID title. So if you want all the data, then we can also pass it like this. We can also pass it like this, or simply don't pass anything, yeah. We can, if we do it like this and like this, so it is the same thing, okay. It will get all the columns from the table. So select, so we should always end it with a get, yeah, so that it will get all the data from the table. So blog, select all from the blog tables, select all from blogs where ID is greater than 1. So now we should be only getting this 2, yeah. So if I refresh the page, now we can see here we are only getting the 2. Now let's say we can do like this also, if ID is greater than or equal to 1, and if I refresh the page, we'll be getting both the data, yeah. Okay, like this we can pass where statement as well as select statements like this, yeah. Okay, now let me remove this, and we also have order by method, yeah. Okay, if I pass here order by ID DESC, okay, order by ID DESC, then it will be order by, it will order the blocks by ID but in the descending order. So currently we have the data here is like ID and 1 and 2. Now the 2 should be in the front. Now you can see here the 2 is in the front and 1 is in the back. So similarly what we can do is order by title, yeah, in the descending order. If I refresh the page, now you can see here the and second. Since s is greater than f, so the second block title is showing first and this is showing second. If I remove the DSC, so by default it will order by ascending order. Now if I refresh the page, now you can see here the first block is shown first and the second is shown at the second, hence they are in now ascending order. Yeah, so we can do these things. So these are the basic things that we can do. So you have seen how to create data, edit data, and how to get the data from the database. Yeah, now let's see how to delete a data from the database. Okay, now let me show you how to delete. Now, okay, to delete a row, okay, let's say we want to delete this row from the database, yeah, which has the ID of 1. Now what we can do is $blog equals to blog find 1. Yeah, so this will find, just I'm repeating that, this will find a blog with the ID of 1. Yeah, okay, let me show you. Previously I didn't show you by doing dd. Now let me show you by doing a dd here. And if I refresh the page, now you can see here it is showing, giving us only one model. So previously when we used get, it was giving us the array of the models. Now it is giving us only one model. Yeah, since we are only getting the one model. Yeah, okay, so it now all the things are same. Yeah, all the data are same here. We can see here ID of 1 is being printed here. Now let me remove this dd. Now to delete the data, we have a method called delete, blog delete. Yeah, so if I find a blog and run a delete method, then this data, this record will be deleted from this table. Okay, now let me go here and refresh the page. Now the data is deleted. Now let me show you in the table. If I refresh here, this data should be gone and this data should be here. Refresh the page, now you can see here that data, the ID 1 is already deleted and 2 is now here. Yeah, so guys, this is how you delete a row from the database. Now if you want to delete multiple rows, okay, let us create one more. Blog equals to new blog. Let me comment this, save, and if I go here and refresh the page and I come here and here, let me refresh. Now you can see here there are 2 rows. Now how to delete these 2 rows? Yeah, I'll show you here. So this Eloquent model has a lot of functionality in it, so we cannot cover this in a single video. So I'll be making multiple videos explaining more about this Eloquent model. So there are a lot of things like relationships. So let's say a blog and category, so they are related to each other, so we can define relationship and fetch the data accordingly. Yeah, and there are scopes, there are accessor, mutators, a lot of concepts here. So I'll also be showing you those in my coming videos. Okay, now here we have these blocks with the ID 2 and 3. Yeah, okay, now what I can do is blog wherein. So this is the wherein of a simple MySQL. So wherein ID, we can pass data as an array here, 2 and 3, 2 comma 3. Yeah, and if I do get, okay, so blog, what it is doing is blog select all from blog where ID in 2 comma 3. Yeah, it is running this MySQL query. Yeah, so if I just let me simply return this here, let me show you this. So it will return only 2 and 3. Okay, model. So if I refresh here, now you can see here the model with the 2 and 3 is being returned. So if I want to only pass only that has the ID of 3, then if I do it like this, then the block with only ID 3 is returned. Yeah, now we want to remove multiple rows. Yeah, so 2 and 3, so we can simply pass delete here. Yeah, so let me remove this blocks wherein ID 2 comma 3 delete. So this, if we change this method, we should not use get here. Okay, so before get we have to pass this delete. We do not need get here. So we'll now this command, this code will delete the ID 2 and 3 from the table. Okay, so currently there are 2 and 3 ID. Now if I go in the browser and refresh the page, yeah, and if I go here and see, refresh here, now you can see here both of the datas are gone. Yeah, so this in this way you can delete multiple rows from our database. So guys, this is how you create, edit, update and get the data from the model. So in our future videos we'll be talking more about models concepts. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.